Owning and operating a food truck can be a very profitable small business. It's a little bit non-traditional though. If you are running a small business that operates a food truck, then you've probably already begun to learn there are a lot of moving parts to that business. Now, there may be times where a food truck business owner needs to have a shot of capital to keep the business going or to expand. In the area of equipment loans, one alternative lender stands out. FinImpact.com selected National Funding as the best alternative lender to consider for equipment loans for food trucks. Because the food truck business is a little non-traditional, and because National Funding uses a very customized approach in dealing with each lender who applies for funding, National Funding is able to offer solutions to food truck owners. Let me give you an example of how working with National Funding might prove advantageous in comparison to other alternatives. Suppose, for example, you owned a food truck and had been in business for over a year, when all of a sudden you get a phone call from a friend saying that a big festival in a nearby town just had a new opening for a food truck. They had a cancellation from another vendor, and now you have the opportunity to swoop in and get some big revenue. The problem is you'll need a second food truck. Now, that's not a problem for you because you're up to this challenge. You've got your eye on a used food truck that just needs some upgraded equipment. You were planning to save up for this, but now with this big opportunity ahead of you, it might make sense to get a loan and move forward faster than you had expected. That's where National comes in. If you went to a regular bank and tried to get a loan for this situation, you might find it difficult to convince the bank that your opportunity is solid. And the processing time might be so lengthy that you would miss your window of opportunity altogether. But with National Funding, you can do their online form in a matter of minutes and check whether or not you qualify for the loan, all with no impact to your credit score. This would allow you to see whether or not it's even possible to take advantage of the opportunity you find before you. To qualify for a food truck loan from National Funding, you'll need a minimum credit score of 575. Not a high bar. Next, you'll need to have been in business for at least 6 months to a year. And last of all, you'll need to show that you have $250,000 of annual revenue, or at least are on pace for that. If you meet these qualifications, National Funding may offer you up to $150,000 in loans for new equipment. This can really make a difference for someone who is trying to expand and needs to get a second truck fully up to speed. The repayment terms last anywhere from 2 to 5 years, and the loan rate can be as low as 10%. And the interest on the loan, which is calculated by using a factor rate, can be as low as 10% annually. National Lending has offered $4.5 billion in loans and worked with over 75,000 small business customers over the years since it started. Some other things to consider about an equipment loan from National Funding are that there is no down payment required to secure the loan. There's also no collateral required for these equipment loans. The payments are made automatically using the same electronic information you give to the company to allow them to disperse your funds. Now, using an alternative lender may not be right for everyone, but that's why it's good to talk with experienced funding specialists at National Funding. They can help you figure out whether or not an equipment loan from National Funding is the right solution for your food truck business.